Let's give it a couple of minutes and then we can start to keep the momentum going. We have over 20 attendees at the moment. Let's wait a couple of minutes. Okay, perfect. You should actually start right now. Okay, can you confirm in the chat if you can hear me properly or not?
Yes, Ahmed, we can hear you. Yeah, can you start?
Okay, perfect. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to all of our attendees today in the next webinar that we have about the CFOs and how we can help them starting their journey towards the new excellence model and the blueprint for success. Before we begin, I just want to give you a quick introduction and a quick brief about who I am and what I do. My name is Ahmed Shami, and I'm thrilled to be here as a panelist for this today's webinar. And I will be guiding you through the exciting journey here at HOFT Academy special event, the next generation CFO blueprint for success. I want to give you a quick introduction and a quick brief about HOFT Academy and what it does exactly, so that we can all get aligned on the same page, and I can give you a quick introduction about how we can help the future of CFOs and how we can get into knowing more details about the evolving role of CFO and the strategy they need to succeed and much more. At HOFT Academy, we are going to assist you and help you in everything regarding your career and regarding your aspirations, from finance to leadership. And also you can think of us as we are your learning partners, helping you becoming the next financial guru or the strategy guru that you aim to be. Because our mission is actually simple. It's to mature and develop folks like you into the next generation of leaders. So we are here to sharpen your skills and to make you master your craft in the next generation for now and the future. You may ask yourself, what is our success recipe? And why are we so prompt in the market and in the region as well? It's all about our core values. Because at the heartbeat of HOFT Academy, guiding everything from our programs to our partnerships, it's not just about what we teach, it's about what we teach and why as well. And today, you are a part of this value-driven journey. Our services actually vary from corporate training, public training, certifications, mentoring and coaching, as well as conferences and events. We have presence in over 30 countries, and we have also helped 6,000 participants just like you in training and academic training as well. We have organized more than 50 trained organizations for helping them developing their next generation skills. And we have a vast majority of over 30 trainers from multiple experiences that we will talk about in the next slide. Our headquarters in the UAE, and we also have presence in KSA and UK. Now let's talk about the heart and soul of HOFT Academy, our programs. With a wide range of offering, we cater to various facets of finance and strategy as well, ensuring that there is something for everyone. From next generation finance programs aimed at reshaping the future of finance, we are focusing on the next generation people just like you to make sure that they are mastering their craft and they are learning the needed skills to be developing in today's world. Our programs actually vary from all types of required skill, starting with the next generation CFO leadership and the next generation FP&A, which is the extended planning and analysis, the ChatGPT and generative AI for finance professionals, and much more. We are also having a vast majority of corporate finance programs that delve into the complexities of mergers, acquisitions, due diligence, and more. Our strategy and performance management courses are designed to elevate your strategic thinking and execution capabilities, such as Certified Chief Strategy Officer, Certified OKR Practitioner, and more as well. At last but not least, while our leadership programs are crafted to forge the leaders of tomorrow, at HOFT Academy, we believe it's not just about learning and transforming. It's not just about the programs themselves. It's only about what you become after you have completed them. So we also provide one-on-one training sessions and leadership programs that will help you develop your next step in your career. As everyone is saying, behind every great learner is even a greater teacher, right? That's why we have the trainers from the best of the best experiences all over the world, and also from a vast majority of experiences and backgrounds to make sure that we are giving you the information that you need and to make sure that we are tackling every box that you have. Our strategic partners are actually maybe a part of a much bigger portfolio, but we are sharing the key highlights with you today, including PwC Academy, AFP, Forefront, Tangible, KPI Mega Library, and more. These are a sample of our clients that we have served in the past and currently, including IKEA, Artel, PwC, Mazda, and so on and so forth. Without further ado, let's start our next generation blueprint for success webinar to make sure that we are tackling all the boxes and all the pain points that you have, and also introduce you to a new era of the next generation Chief Financial Officer. But remember that you have to stay with us until the end of the webinar because we are giving one special gift by the end of the webinar. So don't leave behind it and make sure that you win the prize. Before we dive into the meat of today's discussion, let's take a moment to meet the brilliant minds who will be guiding us through this journey. Their expertise is as diverse, as deep as it sounds, and they are here to share it all with you. Let me start with Rania Leil, a maestro in art of leadership and career development. As a coach, Rania doesn't just guide people, she transforms them into leaders that they were meant to be. Imagine having someone who can not only help you to see your potential, but also help you to reach it. That's Rania for you. Moving to the second participant, we have Islam Saadani, the strategist behind the strategies. Islam doesn't teach strategy only. He lives and breathes it. Whether it's navigating complex business landscapes or crafting winning strategies, Islam's insights have been the compass of countless organizations looking to find their way. Then we have Mohammed Al-Rubi, a global finance and strategy leader who knows the financial world at the back of his hand. With his expertise in FP&A, Mohammed is a guru you want to be in your side when the numbers get tough and the strategies get complex. At last, but certainly not least, we have Ahmed Ghazi, a SIG of the realm of corporate finance and mergers and acquisitions as well. He just doesn't understand the details of M&A. He demystifies them and making complex world of corporate finance accessible to all of us. With our panel introduced, let's venture into the heart of today's discussion with the questions that are the stories themselves, fields of finances and strategy that helps us to navigate into today's world and to make sure that we are developing ourselves into the right path and the right mindset. Let me start with Mohammed Al-Rubi for the question number one. A lot has changed actually in the CFOs and their role in the last 10 years. They are not just about numbers anymore. Maybe I can say they are also about guiding the companies through the big changes. Can you tell us on the role of CFO, how has it evolved, and what is the difference between today's CFO and CFO from 10 years ago?
Thank you, Ahmed, for the question, and thank you for having me today. I believe the role of the CFO changed big time versus the last 10 years. And I like in the media that he renamed the CFO as a Chief Future Officer. This is a very nice title for the CFO, which is a Chief Strategy Officer. So I believe CFO should work closely with the CEO in strategy formulation and strategy execution. Also, CFO should provide scenario planning and helping the organization to reshape the future of the organization. This is why they call the CFO as a Chief Future Officer. At the same time, previously for the CFO to understand technology was a good to have or nice to have, right? But now understanding technology is a must to have for all CFOs. This is something very, very important and changed versus the last 10 or 20 years. Yes, in the last 10 years or 20 years, technology was there, but now technology became a must to have. CFO should understand the new technology, which technology is relevant to which business problem. CFO should, I'm not talking about CFO should be a developer or, developing a code or be a programmer or a coding, right? But I'm talking about CFO should understand technology. How can we leverage AI? How can we leverage RPA? How can we use or implement CPM or APM to have to automate the FP&A process, right? Yes. Understand cybersecurity. So there is a lot of requirements from the CFO right now. But in a nutshell, CFO now should understand technology very, very well. This is the big change to the CFO role. CFO should understand strategy very well, and this is we call the CFO as a Chief Strategy Officer. Also, the third thing came to the plate of the CFO, which is the merger and the acquisition. Merger and acquisition now became a very hot topic. I see in many industries, the merger and acquisition became like day-to-day activities, right? Many companies are acquiring merger with each other. A lot of acquisitions, a lot of startups selling their entities. So merger and acquisition also became a very, very important and hot topic for CFO. So in a nutshell, I can say technology, strategy, and merger and acquisition are the top 3 priorities for the CFO nowadays.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for your great question and the great answering for the question. And actually, I like the tone of Chief Future Officer. It's actually quite more accurate in today's world when we mention the CFOs and what do they do on a day-to-day basis. They're actually managing the future of the company, not just the financial side only. Thank you for your answer. Moving to the second question to Rang. I know that this is your favorite question because actually CFOs today need to be great leaders too, not just with finance. What do you think they are the most important leadership qualities for the CFOs and now in the future as well?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for this eloquent intro in the first place, and it gives me great pleasure to be here with you all. And I want to start my answer by this saying for Brian McDonald, CEO of Hertz Corporation. He said that getting to CFO is 80% functional or technical, and 20% leadership skills. Once the CFO in the chair, this equation is turned on its head. So this says a lot about the leadership skills. And, you know, it's like easier said than done. It's just apparently that it's very easy to have these leadership skills and all these things. But in the core, it's more than that. John Maxwell once said that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And if we talk about the leadership qualities, I just can't brief this in these two words. It's just like a statement. It is the power of influence and creating value. And we have many other qualities under, or can we list, you know, under this big umbrella of influence and creating values. Starting from having this agile mindset and look at the big picture. It's not about this kind of numbers, crunching numbers, and all these technical skills. Of course, it's the main duties and responsibilities of the CFO, but now it's more than that. It's about business acumen. It's about knowing more about the business branches, like maybe sales, marketing. It's all about having this growth mindset and creating more opportunities, growth opportunities for the sake of the organization. And maybe to talk practical about this, I just need to know it's another time. Again, it's easier said than done. That it's like a process, and it's not just about knowing the qualities of leadership, like strategic thinking and looking at the big picture, risk management, this power of influence, as we just mentioned, this kind of communication, how to communicate effectively your message, how to just like transform or just like sending messages very clear and transparent to the stakeholders and the other your team or something. It's like a whole process about just know the more information, like these qualities of leadership, and then reflect on yourself. Like, yes, what makes a great leader? It's all about these qualities. So what prevents you from being that leader? What holds you back from this? And then you have this kind of a scale from 1 to 10. 1 is the least, 10 is the highest. Where I am from right now from this quality, like maybe this power of influence or the communication. Now I'm standing in 4 or 5 or 6. What I need to just make it better than that. How I can just lead others, maybe throughout uncertainty or this thing, where I am in the scale from 1 to 10. And then I plan my a developmental plan. And then I will have some actions and evaluate and then improve. So it's just like a whole process, not just about knowing the qualities, how to reflect on myself, how to assess my qualities right now. What about making a plan and then go in the process? I hope this does answer your question.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Rania, for your great answer. And actually, it's all about reflection and assessment, self-assessment. Because when we think about it, it's not only about just writing a plan on a piece of paper and thinking, okay, here is what I need to do, and then not applying it correctly. It's always about how I understand myself and how I see myself and how I can see myself in the future as well. And what are the footsteps that I need to follow in order to execute the plan correctly. So thank you for your great answer to the question. And moving to the third one, to Islam. When we think about strategic planning or strategy in general, we know for a fact that it's a key for CFO. But making a plan work isn't always easy, if we may say. So let me ask you, what advice do you have for the future CFOs when they are building their company strategy? What makes a strategy really succeed?
Okay, thank you, Ahmed, for your question, and thank you for having me. I'll answer this question from the finance background, or from my experience with multiple CFOs in the companies we worked with in our consulting assignments. So actually, what I would say, my advice would be, my first advice would be, play to support, do not play to own. And what I mean by this, that sometimes in our assignments, the CFO, or not only the CFO, maybe the CHRO, maybe the chief commercial officer, play to own the strategy. They try to take over the strategy and try to control its attributes. And in strategy assignments, we always say that we have two core pillars that support the success of the strategy, which are the finance and the HR. So we always request from the CFO to play the role effectively in supporting the strategy, not trying to own it. Let the ownership for the CEO, let the ownership for the maybe some of the commercial people in the organization to lead it and to own it. However, we, as Ruby was saying, that the futuristic view of the CFO, we want him in the back to support the view, to give insights on the future, not to sit in the leader role, on the owner role. No, we want him to contain the whole approach and play the leadership role that Rania was talking about in guiding the whole strategy committee to pursue the success of this strategy. So the first thing is to take the back seat. That's my first advice. That's the first thing. The second thing is bring insights, do not bring numbers. One thing that we face in with I wouldn't say CFOs, but finance is always split between people who are accounting on accounting capacity and start evolving to play the role of the CFO. And sometimes the CFO or the financial manager who's on the table lean towards the numbers and the accounting part. Sometimes he misses the point of having the strategic view and play the role of the numbers and the accounting component of things and the operational part. And we always advise the CFO to go beyond the numbers and play the insights part. We depend on the CFOs big time to translate, not to bring the numbers. Bringing the numbers is an operational role. So the advice is bring the insights, do not bring the numbers. The numbers can be there, and we can ask someone to bring these numbers. But the real request is, please bring the meaning behind these numbers. You're the best person to put these numbers into meaning and add meaning. Sorry. And add meaning to these numbers. So yes. That's the request that we have from the CFOs. That the second thing, to bring insights, do not bring numbers. And the third advice is to ensure continuous alignment of the budgets with the strategy. Sometimes in the assignments, because the strategy is very dynamic and budgets take a long time to build and to be refined, we find that CFOs sometimes back off from the proper alignment of the budget with the strategy. And sometimes in some of the reviews, we find that there is a big deviation between the budget and the strategy, which again makes the CFO lose the seat of the chief future officer that guides all of us on the go. So the second thing is ensuring continuous alignment and continuous integration between the strategy and the budget, providing the right insights and playing to support, do not playing to own. Those are the advices that that I have in mind for the future CFOs.
Perfect. Thank you, Islam. I actually like the way that you articulated it and the way that you structured it to play to support, not to play to win, because the support function is actually the backbone of every business.
Yes.
We may have an idea or a thought about it, like how we can assist and how we can drive the business forward. It's not only about just taking the charge seat and just giving orders to people and then not knowing or caring about whether these orders or these plans were actually executed or not. It's about supporting it and making sure that we are in they may say, to getting our hands dirty, just to make sure that we know what we are speaking about, and just also to know the tiniest of details to make sure that we are on the right track. So thank you, Islam, for your great answer to the question. This actually makes me move to Ahmed Ghazi and the new hot topic of M&As and mergers acquisitions as well. It's taking all over the place. Companies are acquiring each other on a vast or rapid rate, if we may say, especially starting from 2022 and the fintechs and the unicorns and the rise of unicorns as well in the US and so on and so forth. So let me tell you, if I am asking regarding knowing the best idea or the best advice to have for CFOs, what would it be, and how we can make sure that they get mergers and acquisitions right?
Hello, Ahmed, and I'd like to thank you for having me today with you. And I'd like to welcome with all the attendees Ramadan Kareem. Indeed, this is, I need to just to recollect what you just said, Mohammed said that the M&A has become a hot topic and comes at the top of the CFO's modern agenda. The modern CFOs and the next generation of them has a lot of burdens over their shoulders of evolving. The role itself has become much more complicated, and a lot of the skills and tasks and experiences are expected to come up from them. For the M&A, we can witness now that in certain markets like in GCC and even in Egypt and some of the Asian countries, a surge, a super surge, I can say, in the area of M&A driven by the private equity companies that are looking forward to exit their investments, or they looking forward to refuel their portfolio. As well, don't forget that during the COVID-19, a lot of companies and investment institutions were holding companies. I was expecting to exit during this time, but they still wait until the market circumstances get better so they can do that, which is now we can see the curve of the exit start and the M&A transaction starts to surge again. For the M&A in itself, we hear a lot of M&As. We see it in the top logos in the newspaper. X company acquires Y company. This is something that looks very sexy, very interesting. However, it's very extensive. It gains you a lot of experience. And let me tell you something which is not a surprise, that the instrumental one and the pivotal role into this one is the CFO. So it becomes now a third of your role how to run the M&A transaction, how to manage this. So if we look at the M&A transaction itself, it might be we have both sell side and buy side. For any M&A transaction, there is a company that aspire to sell its business and another company that aspire to acquire this business. So we usually have a sell side and a buy side. For the process for the two sides are almost the same, but the perspective and the role is widely different from the both sides. So it starts, if we went through the transaction process, it might start with the transaction validation or strategy articulation. And the main thing here, or the key word, is we assess whether this is a strategic great opportunity from the buy side, if this a good strategy or a good idea to sell my business, and for the acquirer for the acquirer side or buy side, so is it a good idea to seek an inorganic growth through acquisition in another company? So this first stage seeks to answer this question. During this question, we ask a lot of questions, we make a lot of due diligence, and come up with a business case at the end of the day that we need to take this decision, sell or buy the business. So it takes us to the next step, which is screening and selection. You start to screen a lot of the companies around you. You contact with a lot of the stakeholders, internally, externally, lawyers, accountants, advisors, investment bankers. All those you start to communicate with to come up with a manageable number of candidates that you can acquire, or you can start touch base with them. Once you get to the 1 or 2 or 3 candidates, you start to communicate with them, which is stage we call it the desktop valuation and assessment. Under this stage, you start to communicate with the company, receive an initial data, and you value the company based on the public domain, on the public information that you have. After this, you now have a solid background about the company. You have what we usually call the indicative valuation of the target company. So you are submitting your non-binding offer, which stating that we are XYZ company looking forward to acquire ABC company under the certain terms XYZ. And this is all subject to the due diligence. Once you have the access to the due diligence, which is the step number 4, you start to dip into the financials, the data room, you make your analysis, bring your advisors, and assess the risk, and you come up by end of the day, by the final purchase price of the company, and the final stage, which is the fifth step, is closing the deal, drafting the SPA, definitive agreement, and documenting all of this. This is a standard process. It might be more extended or might be a little shortened. But we can notice that the CFO is the one who plays the pivotal role into this one. Why? Because since it's starting, it's all financial. And when I speak financial here, doesn't mean the bookkeeping or reporting or accounting. No, it's all about the assessing the real value of the company. So to make it success into a deal, the CFO has to do two things. First, he have to assess the real value of the company, and this is a very wide exercise that takes you to value the company in different ways, assessing the assumption of the business, challenging the other party of how this business is going to do, and assessing how the business will perform after you acquire and integrate it with your business. Second one is the stakeholders management. Into the M&A deal, usually we are dealing with tens of people, internally, externally, stakeholders, steering committee, M&A advisor, due diligence advisor, tax and legal, lawyers. A lot of them, you have to fulfill their requirements. You have to answer them in accurate way. You don't want to destroy the value of your company. So this is practice all takes a long time. It needs a lot of experience commercially, financially, legally, and operationally as well. That's why this is very important. And my advice to any CFO, don't wait until the transaction comes and knock your door and get ready, because the once you will find yourself in front of the transaction, you have nothing to do. You will lose a great opportunity of making a deal that takes you to a next level of the your career.
Definitive and well put through, Ahmed, and thank you for the great depth of knowledge that you're sharing with us today and the practical experience that you're sharing with us today. Because when we speak about anything from the theoretical perspective only, it has no taste. But when we include the practical experience and the practical part of it, it makes a lot of sense. So thank you for your great efforts. And this makes me move to Muhammad Ruby again. And this time we will talk about another hot topic in the era of finance in general, especially with the CFOs, which are the technology and artificial intelligence. Because technology and AI are actually changing how companies and businesses perform, and changing how they can articulate themselves in the business and in the market as well. Do you see these changes actually as opportunities or threats for CFOs, and how we can tackle them?
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed. I believe I receive this question on, let's say, almost on daily basis, that will technology replace people or not, or will technology replace the finance office or not?
Yeah.
The answer simply is the people who understand technology will replace the people who doesn't understand technology, but technology will not replace people. So the answer again is technology will not replace people, but people who understand technology will replace the people who doesn't understand technology or who don't know how to, leverage technology. So technology is definitely a big opportunity for finance functions. I remember, let's say 50 years ago or 40 years ago, finance was, most of the process was very manual, right? A lot of, spreadsheets, a lot of, manual process, a lot of manual reconciliations, manual formulas. Even the budget process was very, very manual. So the finance work was very difficult for everyone, and we discovered a lot of errors. If you even search for the big errors happen in the finance functions, and the big loss happened to many big companies because of the manual works, you can see a significant mistakes happen. And I saw one of the big mistakes that the company lost billions, not even millions, billions, because of the formula error in their, as Ahmed mentioned, company valuation calculation. So manual works definitely is not the right way. This is why we have to leverage technology. And I'm not saying that, again, CFO or FP&A or finance people should be programmers or developers, but we have to know how to use technology, how to leverage technology. And also, again, I'm not asking each organization to implement AI or RPA or whatever, but at least, use whatever the possible technology that can make your work more efficient, more effective, more agile. This is what we have to do. So as a CFO, you have to understand how can we leverage, for example, AI. How can we leverage generative AI? How can we use AI in making our work more efficient? For example, as I see that many companies now are using generative AI and ChatGPT and many other technologies that help them to save tens of hours and hundreds of hours on annual basis. Also, implementing APM or CPM for the FP&A functions and automate all the budgeting, planning, scenario analysis process is very important. Using BI or business intelligence tool instead of having big spreadsheets. And as we see right now, that many companies had to deal with big data, not only with normal or big small size of data. So how to deal with big data without technology? Definitely, if you use only spreadsheets, it will not be the right solutions. How to ensure how to use cybersecurity and ensure that the technology is working in a safety environment. That's also very important. So again, yes, technology is very important for us to work more agile, more efficient, free up our time on high value adding activities. Also, is very important. As a CFO, if you spend most of your time just reviewing data, or your team spending time on reviewing data, making reconciliations, cleaning up data, definitely this is not a high value adding activity. So we need to free up our time from low value adding activities. Same as Islam said that finance people should provide business insights. How can we provide business insights and spend good time, with our business people, with our business partners, without freeing up our time? So technology for sure is an opportunity, but at the same time there is a risk. The risk is not losing jobs or whatever, but the risk is mainly in the wrong use of technology without the right governance, without the right security, without having the right all the security environment to ensure that no one make a bias or make any kind of unethical use of the technology.
Absolutely. Of AI and many technology tools in today's world, actually, we have come along from just having an Excel spreadsheet, moving forward to the release of Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, and tools like Tableau as well, to semi-automate or automate the visualizations of the data. And then it got developed into a point where we had the big companies started developing ERP and ERMs as well. And then moving forward with the generative AI topic and the trend of today that was actually released to the public 1.5 years ago, started with ChatGPT 3, and then it got developed to 3.5, and then now we have Model 4, and who knows, maybe we will have Model 4.5 within the next month, maybe Model 5 within the next year. And with each step that we have in today's technology, it's getting easier and easier for everybody to use and utilize it to their advantage. And when you mentioned that it saved everybody's hundreds and hundreds of hours, I can totally confirm on that, because I'm speaking from practical experience. I have actually started to utilize these technologies in the past 6 months, and my life went places when we compare to the same productivity level, when we compare to the same accuracy, because at the end of the day, we are humans, and we cannot guarantee 99% uptime of our brains, not making any rust mistake or something like this. So when we think about automation, when we think about how we can utilize it properly, I totally agree 100% on the fact that we should educate ourselves. We should make sure that we are learning today's technology, not to get behind. And as you mentioned, for the fact that those who are using and utilizing the technology will outsmart and outcompete those who don't, are actually a very significant part, because if somebody is not utilizing the tools that we have in 2024, imagine where will they be in the next 2 or 3 years. I'm not going to speak about the next 5 or 10 years. I'm only going to speak about the next 2 or 3 years. They will be so behind that their services will no longer be relevant, because maybe somebody else has actually started to utilize today's tools, and now they are working more efficient, more productive, and more accurate than ever. So you're totally right on this point, and I thank you for articulating your point. This makes me going back to Rania and her leadership excellence, and as well as training, because she was involved and she's still involved into these types of training. Because when I'm thinking about it, for being emotionally intelligent and having strong leadership skills can actually make a difference for chief financial officers. The question that comes to my mind is, how important are these skills for financial and finance leaders? And should every CFO consider getting a coach to help them develop their skills, or is it just a fantasy?
Thanks for this great question. And my answer is very short, yes and yes. Yes, emotional intelligence, it's very important for the CFOs, as it's the basics, the fundamentals for everything. You know, in this maybe fast-paced world, that changing world we are just living in, stress is everywhere. So the ability to handle your emotions, to managing your emotions is really crucial. And here I'm not saying control your emotion. No one can control his emotions, by the way. We're just managing them, how to go with the flow. How we just, when we just feel stress, now we can managing our emotions, just like to live in the maybe moment and then bounce back. And this is the meaning of resilience as well, how to bounce back to our normal state. Daniel Goleman, the godfather of the emotional intelligence, once said, in a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. And that's the real meaning of emotional intelligence, how to connect the two brains, how to connect me and my emotions as well, my maybe mind, my logic part with my emotional part. And the importance of CFOs to maybe knowing that emotional intelligence, it's really important. Why? Because all the time we're handling with ourselves and others as well. And maybe 4 areas for emotional intelligence, tackling these 4 parts. Number 1, self-awareness. Maybe number 2, managing emotions or self-management. And then motivation, empathy, and then people's management, emotions. So it's not just maybe some of my clients, you know, the first thing they just said, I want to influence others. I want just motivate others. I want to inspire others. It's okay, but first things first. First, number 1, or just step number 1, to handle yourself first, to motivate yourself first, to understand yourself and your motivation and your emotions first, and then we will go with the flow, then handling others. Maybe in this world, when it comes to CFOs especially, they all the time may be handling with numbers, crunching numbers, counting, and all these things. When it comes to finance, you are the experts here, okay? So, but the other side is the human beings. Your team is about human beings. This mixture, complicated mixture of emotions, of mindset, of values, of backgrounds, of even mental processes, even values, you know, the life purpose. So all these things can contribute to their behaviors. Maybe it's a very important triangle in emotional intelligence, and we can all just like start to practicing from today. Is about thoughts can lead to emotions, can lead to actions or behaviors. So people are starting with their thoughts, their mindset, their beliefs, their values. As a leader, you need to understand all these things to be able to handle with them, to tackle them, to deal with them in their own way. It's not in our own way, their own way. As a leader, you are responsible for your team. You have to inspire them, motivate them, lead them within the change, you know, in this uncertainty world or any challenging or unexpected things that may face in the future. So you have to manage yourself and then manage others, observe yourself and then observe others. I hope this answer the first part of the question. When it comes to coaching, yes, everyone needs a coach. And maybe in the program, we just learn or just teach people how to coach yourselves as well.
Thinking actually about it and thinking about the part of coaching yourself is actually a really important skill set to have, because if we are not having the ability to observe our skills and our actions and our activities, and if we are not able to see what we are doing and to analyze it and to make sure that we are taking the best move on the chessboard on a daily basis, if we don't have this ability, I think we are lacking our human element of self-development and self-awareness, and making sure that we are developing ourselves into the right track and the right mindset. And also about the part of controlling the logical part and the emotional part of your brain is actually a very important topic, because if we regulated it properly, I'm sure for a fact that we will never ever experience any issues in critical times or in critical moments, because we will be able to collect ourselves. We will be able to handle the problem that or the issue that we have and the issue that we face, as well as take the best decision in order to resolve it.
Yes,
And
Ahmed, and just please, just if you allow to let me to talk more about the point of coaching. You
yeah,
know, coaching, and there's like misconception about coaching. It's all about the piece of advice. Coaching is this partnership, you know, between you and the clients, or between you and the teams in our context right now. So how to just make them understand themselves, how to support them, how to help them to help themselves. This may be the most important part about the coaching. And coaching is about how to ask powerful questions to get powerful answers and have this kind of reflection. So powerful questions and reflections and using some tools, this will raise the awareness and maximize maximize the results that you will gain from your team as well. And as I just mentioned earlier, coach yourself. Yes, it's a very, it's unique thing to do, as you just learn how to coach yourself, how to have this partnership with yourself, with your core, how to understand your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior, and then doing all these tools with yourself, and then do it with others. It will make wonders, as they say. Thank you.
perfect. I like the sound of it, and I like how we are stressing on the importance of self-coaching and self-reflecting as well throughout the webinar. This actually makes me jumping back with Islam, because when we think about strategies, even the best strategies can face challenges when it comes to putting them in action. And nobody knows it more than you here. So when we think about it, and when we want to articulate it, how do you think, or what do you think are the biggest challenges in executing strategy, and how can CFOs overcome them?
Okay, thank you for this question, Ahmed. And because actually, we always say that strategy is about execution. Because when you form or you work on formulating strategies, we say that might be a complex part, but it's not the harder one. So it might be complex to formulate a proper strategy and to bring alignment on it, but it's not about the planning components, about the execution component. That's what really matters, because plans on paper doesn't really bring companies to growth and success. So what I would say are the top challenges that we face in our work with our clients, and actually these challenges are across all the sizes of clients. Since companies of tens, hundreds, and thousands, they face similar problems and challenges with different impact level. So I would say the first thing is about communication. There's a lot of strategies are formulated in companies, but no one knows what it is. And a lot of people in the organization cannot really know what is the strategy that they are working towards. And that sometimes happens because not only the lack of communication, that the top management didn't communicate strategy well, and the management team didn't take the strategy down to their teams to communicate with them and let them know what the company is thinking of. But sometimes this happens because of the complexity of the strategy, because that sometimes it's very complex. There's a lot of data that needs to be refined, that needs to be articulated in a way that enhances and improves and enables the communication of the strategy to the different levels of the organization. So the first thing is about communication of the strategy, and this communication should be tailored to the different segments that we are targeting through ways of communication, channels, and even the message itself. So that's the very first thing. The second thing which follows the communication is the cascading. Making clarity for the different teams, what are they contributing to the strategy? That's a very, very important role. People might know the strategy, but cannot understand what should I do to support this strategy. What can I, how can I perform, or what are my key components or my key focus areas that I need to enhance, or I need to improve to ensure that I am working towards the strategy. So cascading component is turning the high-level communication into a practical, solid moves, maybe actions, maybe KPIs, maybe OKRs, maybe projects and initiatives to make sure that the teams inside the different teams are aware of their contribution to the strategy and the actions and the numbers that they need to focus on to ensure successful strategy. That's the second challenge. The third challenge is about continuous reviews. One very important thing that we say when we work with our clients, that reviewing strategy might be a very boring activity that we will have on monthly checkpoint basis. We have our quarterly business review, and every time we'll do the same thing. We'll keep doing this for years. There is no back off. There is no you're bored. Embrace the boredom. Embrace that this is a very, very consistent action that needs to be taken to ensure the success of this strategy. So having regular reviews with the same approach, we might improve the approach a bit, but we have this consistent action of having a look on our strategy, how is it going, what we need to work on to enhance its performance. That's a very important component. And from the CFO perspective, what I need in this reviews, or what I ask in these reviews, that we always have a rollout on the budget to match the strategy enhancements or improvements or pivoting. So the rollout mentality and the agile adjustment on the budgets and the dynamics of the pricing and the costing components, and making these moves to ensure that we are matching the development and the pivoting of the strategy. That's a very important component. The fourth challenge is about having tracking tools to do proper reviews. Every time every team member needs to, or every management member needs to go and get the data that he or she needs to present to the management and the top management. And one of the things that makes it very, very hard to do these reviews and having the time to perform the insights component, that, as I was saying before in the previous question, is having access to these data and having proper ways to see these data points in an automated way. And I'll get back to what you were saying, Ahmed, and I will reflect on what Ruby was saying, that automation is key here. There's no proper tracking with the old ways. Currently, we have our dynamic tools with Power BI and all the other tools that integrates different components of analytics, and using AI to do the proper analysis to these insights and outcomes. So I would say automation of tracking components across the organization, I think, and I would say finance has a very, very big role in this. And it really makes a big difference to the insights that they bring to the table for every management member, but especially for the finance automation of the tracking and insights tools. The fifth challenge, and the last one, would be being able to play within the political dynamics of the organization. And here I would reflect on what Rania was saying about the emotional intelligence and being a leader. And I would say, and this has a very, very big depth in our skill set that we try to embed within the different management members. But yeah, here I'm talking in the context of the CFO, that we always say in the political dynamics of the organization, giving its healthy dynamics, not negative ones, but healthy ones, healthy positive ones, but there is always dynamics. We always say play or be played. So either you are an active player who tries to play ethical, dynamic, positive politics that tries to grow the company, try to put a proper basis on the table, and adding value to the conversation through, again, active, positive lobbying, bringing alignment and consensus on the table. That's a very, very taboo, critical topic, I know, but it's very important to have political awareness. They have strong political skills to play across the organization using emotional intelligence and different leadership roles, and definitely using his or her coaching skills and powerful asking and powerful inputs on the table. That's the fifth component that I believe brings يعني lack of proper execution, which is not understanding the political dynamics and try to bring it only this way. There is always it's my way or the highway. No, there is always multiple ways to play the game, and it's very important for the different management members and especially the CFOs to bring this political savviness to the table to guide and to support the different management members for successful strategy execution. So the 5 components are basically proper communication. That's the first challenge. The second component is about cascading the strategy on the different team members. The third is about maintaining consistent, strong reviews on the strategy and adjustment on the budget to match the strategy. The fourth is about automating the tracking tools and bringing insights on the table. And the fifth would be playing the game well on the political side.
Perfect. Thank you for the great insights, and thank you for bringing up the 5 pillars of on how to tackle it properly and how to make sure that we are getting the best out of it. For the sake of time and to make sure that we are also giving the giveaway by the end of the webinar, the one free seat for the program as promised. I'm going to move to the last question to Ahmed Ghazi, and in short, if we can ask you, what should CFOs focus on during the due diligence process to make sure that nothing important gets missed?
Yeah, this is, thank you. And this is a good question. When it comes to the due diligence, I can see that due diligence along with the evaluation are both the most important piece of the transaction and takes maybe 40% of the time consumed into the transaction. This usually comes with the complexity of the details of the due diligence. And when we speak about the due diligence, we not only speak about the financial one. We have financial, tax, legal, HR, and operational and strategy as well. There is a lot of challenges coming with the due diligence. For the due diligence, we have mainly 3 outputs of the due diligence, or the ultimate purpose of the due diligence. We have 3 things. First is deal breakers. I need to come up with any deal breaker during the deal. I know what would make me walk away from this deal. So this is the first one. Second one is the evaluation inputs. What would be coming from the due diligence that might make me change my valuation to upward or downward. Third one is the negotiation point that is gonna be done or gonna be used into the SPA and definitive agreement to document risk mitigation and all the things. So understanding what is the purpose of the due diligence is very important, and indeed preparing yourself for the due diligence starts early before the transaction even knocks your door. Because in the due diligence, we are dealing with historical financials and historical performance. So you have nothing to do now. You cannot fabricate or recook your financials or your books. So it starts with now. If you might have a transaction after 1 year, 2 years, coming couple of years, who knows? But you have to get prepared from now by getting yourself familiarized with the M&A transaction, how it will go, how to prepare the data room, how to answer the questions of different stakeholders, and how to negotiate this finding. So to wrap up, in sake of time, understanding what the due diligence purpose is for and what the output gonna to come out with, and manage the stakeholder and manage expectation of different stakeholders. This should start from now. Don't wait until the transaction comes and now you have nothing to do, but this starts earlier, as long as this deals with the historical performance and nothing to do with this. So the best strategy to deal with this, to make it success, is to start working on this from now, getting ready for whatever knocks your door. That's it.
Couldn't say it better when we discuss the due diligence part, and especially those who are maybe trying to play with the numbers and play with the presence of the company or the organization that will be acquired. Sometimes they are over promising and under delivering, if I may say. I wouldn't go through the route of bad intention because of my experience in fraud management. But when we mention due diligence, we have to make sure that we are as transparent as we can, and we have to maybe, if I may say, enlighten our stakeholders with everything that is in place to make sure that we are not deceiving them or we're giving the bad image or the bad picture when it comes to performing certain transactions, or for the sake of maybe simple tasks such as raising equity and so on and so forth. So thank you for your insights. Actually, I'm very pleased with all of the amount of knowledge and experience that I've heard today. I've learned a lot today, and I hope everybody did. And it's a great questions lined up for our panelists. Their insights are sure shed some light on what it takes to be a successful CFOs in today's fast-changing world. And this makes me introduce you to the main component of today's webinar, which is the new program by HOFT Academy, the Next Generation CFO program. And as we wrap up our insightful discussion with our panelists, I'm excited to introduce to you a program like this, which is a really groundbreaking program for those who want to be the next leader in their organization, which is specifically and initiatively designed to prepare finance leaders like yourselves for the future. This 75-hour program is actually, which is actually backed up by 10 industry leaders and experts, is a comprehensive program that covers and tackles all the core areas of strategic finance, leadership, innovation, and digital transformation as well. It's about, if I may say, blending the advanced academic concepts with the practical insights and the first-hand experiences that you need to thrive in today's digital and complex world. Because from my experience and from my perspective, the next generation CFO leadership is actually your ticket to becoming a strategic partner in your organization, because it covers everything from strategic management, corporate finance, leadership as well, to finance, digital transformation, M&As, and much, much more. Through a mix of lectures, case studies, workshops as well, and private coaching sessions, as well as the leadership exercises, you will gain the skills to push yourself to the next level and to prove yourself to the seat of the table that you deserve to be. The key topics are actually included in this program are strategic management, finance leadership, M&As, advanced corporate finance, digital transformation, corporate performance, ESG, sustainability, data analytics, and generative AI as well. And the program will actually be starting by no longer than May 5th, and the duration will be 75 hours, as we explained. We will share the registration link and all the details with all of you right now in the chat, and also I will send you an email by the end of the webinar with the presentation material and the steps if you want to get enrolled into this program. But before we go through this step, let's break down the program module by module. And I believe that the best people that will be able to digest and explain every module are the instructors themselves. To Islam, I will let you introduce yourself to the attendees today in detail, and I will also let you explain to us what are the key facts about Module 1 of which that you will lead. So go ahead.
Okay, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I am Islam Saadani. I'm a strategy consultant, and I'm the managing director of Forefront Consulting, which is a strategy consulting firm. We are a specialized boutique firm that works with companies and the CEOs and top management in the companies to work on the formulation of strategies and support in the execution of these strategies on the ground. We've worked with more than 50 different clients in more than 30 different industries in 4 countries. The clients that we worked with ranging from tens of employees to hundreds to thousands of employees. The experience is basically an agnostic specialty. So we were not specialized in a specific industry. We're very strong on the discipline of strategy. And we apply all the different frameworks on the ground for our clients. That's basically what I do. Our work with our clients actually involves guidance of the different teams, supporting them and ensuring proper alignment between the different functions to ensure the success of these strategies. We stay with our clients for years, for we know well what works and what doesn't work, and on the practical side of things. And to give you a brief on our module here, as we said earlier, that strategic mindset and strategy is super essential for the future CFOs to play their future role, for their chief future officer role. So basically what we're doing is we're talking about the CFO as a strategic business partner, and the role of the CFO in the strategy assignments, the specifics of the involvement within the planning component and the execution component, and the required roles and the required skills that we need in these different phases. We move to understanding the dynamics of the situation that we're working with. Actually, that's where we understand the different tools of analysis and how do we conduct proper diagnostics on the situation to perform or to conduct the strategy. Then moving to making the strategic choices, where we jump into how do we make strategic decisions and what are the strategies that we might choose, what are the types of strategies, how can we choose from them, what are the mechanisms of analyzing and understanding these directions and evaluating them to make proper choices. And then we move to the strategy to execution, how to convert these choices into execution. As we said earlier, strategy is about execution. So making sure that we connect the main choices and the generic holistic choices into execution, very, very strong, solid execution components. And here we in the next part we talk about the OKRs framework, and I believe these components might be integrated between me and Sharif. Not sure that that's the case. Ahmed, please confirm this with me. We'll be talking about the execution components of the frameworks of execution of strategy, which are the OKRs framework. And then finally, we talk about the practical tips on making strategy work on the ground, tackling the components in the formation, some tactics. That's a very, very critical tactics that we need to maintain in our minds while forming or executing the strategy to ensure proper success in the both formulation and execution. This this module will be based on cases, based on practical experience. We're not talking theory most of the time. Actually, most of the time we're talking on the practical component of what went well, what went wrong, what tools that we used, what tools that we developed and enhanced in our work. So this would be a very, very practical case-based module and full of actually readings for people who would be joining this program to give them further knowledge and further sources to understand more about strategy and the implementation and the implications of it.
Perfect. Thank you, Islam, for the brief introduction to yourself and to the modules that you and Sharif will be able to handle in the program. And yes, as you mentioned, it's not only you. Sharif will be with you on this one as well, but because he is not with us today, so I thought of the opportunity to let you dive deeper into it. But moving to the second module and talking about it, which is the next generation finance leadership. And I will let the floor to Rania to introduce herself in quick brief and what she does on a daily basis, as well as how she can help us in the next generation CFO program. Rania, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Ahmed. This is Rania Leila. I am the founder and principal coach at Influence School. I'm a training manager. I've been in the training field for 17 years and in the coaching field for 6 years. I help leaders to maximize their potential and reach maximum or reach remarkable results. So yes, maybe this is a brief about me. I'm a leadership and career development coach as well. And when it comes to our program, I would say that we will work not just on skills, leadership skills, we will work on the competency. And the difference between the two is huge. Skills, we just develop some skills when it comes to how to do things, know-hows. But when it comes to competency, we will work on knowledge, skills, and attitudes, behaviors, and all these things. So we will start with this agile mindset, how to adopt this growth mindset, how to maybe tackle all the things from different perspectives. As James Clear once said in his book, Atomic Habits, we just work on not just the outcomes, but with the identity first to gain remarkable results. So we will work on identity as a leader. You are a leader. We will go on from this point. Then we will talk about the influential leaders when it comes to their skills. So we will go with emotional intelligence, how maybe to have this mindset, great mindset, and other maybe risk management, and also how to handle stress, and this thing when about how to prevent burnout and all these things, and how to build relationships with your team, how to motivate them, how to feel empathy towards them. And we will use multiple tools and maybe, assessments when it comes to leadership to work more on the areas for improvement and your strengths points. As we just maybe say it right now, it's not weakness points. We will ensure about the identity and it's like areas for improvement and what's your motivated skills, what's your values and how you just rank values according to your priorities and all these things. And then we will go through in depth about knowledge about leadership, transformational strategic leadership and how to handle with your team as we just how to build relationship with them, stakeholders and all these things. And then we will work more on your creativity and think out of the box or strategic thinking as well. I know that my colleague Islam talks more about strategy, but here we will just, ensure on strategic thinking and how to think differently so that when you think differently, you will gain different results. Yeah, that's for now. See you soon. Thank you, Ahmed. Back to you.
Thanks to you for the great introduction and the details about what you do and how you can be helping in the development of the module 2, the next generation finance leadership, and how we can help and assess all of those who are in need to make sure that they are tackling the boxes of emotional intelligence and making sure that they are on the right track. So thank you for this. Jumping to the next module, which is M&As and Advanced Corporate Finance. Of course, our M&A expert, Ahmed Ghazi, I will leave the floor for you to introduce us in brief, quickly for the sake of time, and as well as explaining the module 3 and how it will be contributed into the next generation CFO program. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ahmed. Briefly about myself, I'm Ahmed Ghazi. I have around 14 years of experience into the M&A financial advisory. I started my career back with the KPMG EY in audit assurance, and I jumped into We are the investment bank specialized into the middle market transactions, CPA, CMA, and certificate in wealth management from the CISI Institute in UK. This is briefly about myself. Inshallah, when we come to the course, we can expand more onto my experience, and I'm ready to share that. Back to our schedule, our M&A program gonna consist of different let's say layers. Under the M&A, we will navigate the transaction in itself since the starting till the closure, understanding each process, each stage, the different role of each stakeholders, whether it's the internal advisors, external advisors, and so on. As well, we will describe and navigate together the evaluation approaches, how to value the company using the different approaches with this discounted cash flow, multiple, and spreading the spreadsheets and to come up with the real value of the company. We will know how to structure the transaction itself for the M&A, whether we have to make it a minority or a majority acquisition, asset sale, or a company or business sale. This is going to be discussed as well. Again, we will go through the restructuring and the value creation if a company is struggling and the valuation of distressed company, because the companies range, it starts from the startup companies, mature early stage, and declining companies. So we will navigate the transaction through all the company cycles and business life cycle of each of these company. We will value the startup companies with its appropriate approach. We'll do the same for the mature companies. We will discuss the same with the distressed companies. We will discuss the strategy of the corporate finance and value creation of each of these stage into the company exit strategy. We will touch upon the difference between the private equities, venture capitals, and the strategic acquirer. And we will discuss deeply the role of the CFO and how we can be the instrumental one into the transaction till the closure. This is in a nutshell how we're going to cover our course. Inshallah, when we come to the course, we can go deeper into the more details. Thank you.
Perfect. All thanks to you and for the details that you have shared with us today. I've learned a lot from you personally, and yeah, I can't wait to see more of you in the next program, inshallah. So moving to module 4, and I will be the one who is speaking about it. And let me give you a quick brief and introduction about me and what I do for the sake of time as well. My name is Ahmed Al-Shami. I'm a data analytics, regulatory technology, and generative AI expert. I've been involved in the finance and in the banking industry for more than 6 years, and I've also been more involved into the large corporations and the payment industry for a while now. And actually, my specialization is in artificial intelligence and machine learning utilization and practicality from the practical standpoint. From using it in risk management to finance in general, to transitioning from accounting to next generation finance, as well as the risk managed financial data analysis and analytics. For the module 5, in quick brief, let me give you a quick hint about what I will be able to provide you in this program, which is the finance digital transformation and analytics. Jumping from finance digital transformation strategies and how we can move to the practical side of implementing those strategies for the digital transformation, how we can lay the map properly in order to see what we can develop and what are the pain points of the digital transformation side of your company, and how we can actually invest properly in the tools and in the models that we will be using in the future to make sure that we are not burning money, we are not burning cash, we are not wasting time and effort and labor as well for technology that is not relevant, as well as jumping into the FP&A transformation and automation. As I've spoken earlier in the webinar about the importance of the automation, and as Muhammad Al-Rubi mentioned as well on the FP&A transformation part, we are living in a world where automation is running over, and to make sure that we are on the right track and to make sure that we eliminate the human error part and to make sure that we hit the productivity level to the roof, we have to implement automation properly. And I will be able to guide you through this process and this journey to make sure that you are implementing it correctly. Jumping to the generative AI and ChatGPT for finance, you will learn how to use the generative AI tools, the hot topic of last year and this year, and hopefully the next 5 years ahead. We will go through practical experiences and practical case studies, real case studies, to make sure that you, when you learn something from this particular module, you apply it immediately, right after in your workplace. I will be able to help you to use and utilize ChatGPT tools like Google Gemini Advanced, which is the main competitor of ChatGPT. We will learn how to automate your whole data analysis process, how to automate also the visualization part as well, how it can help you take a more informed decision. And this makes me jump to the fourth chapter, which is the data analytics to support decision making. This particular part is actually very important because without data, without informative data, we will not be able to take a correct decision, especially when it's a risky decision or in a critical situation. You will be able to learn like how to use the data that you have, how to mine it properly, how to use it to your advantage, how to forecast properly, how to understand the differences, how to make your proper A/B testing, how to implement the hypothesis, how to use statistics to your advantage, and how to use the nature's language and the numbers to make sure that you are giving the right advice and the right opinion. At last but not least, we will jump into the main awareness of cybersecurity and technology risk management. Me coming from a diverse risk management background and being involved in the risk management industry, I will be able, and as well as the cybersecurity in my current role, I will be able to help you understand the tackles and the challenges in cybersecurity and how to mitigate any possible risk that is coming within the tools that you will be using. Because at the end of the day, it's like an equation. And this equation has to be driving businesses forward while mitigating the risk properly. If we are not handling both at the same time, we are not doing it right. And I believe in increasing and enhancing in the business, but as well as taking informed decision and being risk averse at the same time. This is in a nutshell, and I will be able to assist you also in other factors of technology in general and the utilization of your ongoing tools in your organization. This makes me jump to module 5, and I will let Mohammed Al-Rubi, my friend, discuss it in brief. Ruby, if you can introduce yourself to us and walk with us through module 5, which is corporate performance and reporting, please.
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed. Moving to the last part, and sorry for keeping you late. So this is the last module, which is about corporate performance and reporting. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Mohammed Rubi. I'm a global strategy and finance leader with almost 22 years of experience in global multinational companies like Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, Takeda, Allergan, and Energizer. I handle multiple international senior roles across Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, Turkey, and recently I'm handling a global role. Also, I have a lot of global certificates like CIMA from UK, FP&A from US, and OKR from OKR Institute, and many other global certificates. Let me take you quickly through the last module, which is about performance management and reporting. As a CFO, you have to work closely with the CEO and the strategy team on ensuring implementing the proper key performance indicators inside your organization, starting from the company's KPIs until the lowest level inside the organization, until employees level. You have to implement the proper corporate performance management reporting, how to ensure the performance is tracking properly when we compare the actual results versus the target and versus the strategy, and how to implement an effective and efficient corporate performance management. Also, last but not least, digitalization. If you implement a strategy without digitizing it, it will not work properly because of the lack of governance and the lack of cascading down all the information in the proper access and the proper dashboard. Also, ESG and integrated reporting. I believe all of you now are hearing that this is a very big and important topic nowadays in the organization, which is ensuring the sustainability and ESG. So we need also our future CFOs to understand clearly how to, manage ESG and integrated reporting with the other functions. And last but not least, as a CFO, you have to present your data in a better way. You're gonna learn how to master your data storytelling, how to master data visualization, and how to tell the proper business stories to your board of directors and to your senior management. So that's all, and those are the 5 modules, and I'll leave the floor to you, Ahmed.
Perfect. Thank you for your detailed explanation. And let's not forget the private one-on-one CFO coaching sessions, because each participant will have the opportunity for a one-on-one coaching session tailored to your unique challenges and goals as well, ensuring that you're ready for what you have learned and what you have acquired from this great program. To be honest, if I may add my biased opinion, this program isn't just about learning. It's about becoming a part of the next generation of CFOs who are actually ready to lead the organization into the future. With the expertise of our esteemed trainers and the vast majority of our trainers and the well-designed curriculum for real-world application, if I may say, the Next Generation CFO Leadership Program is your stepping stone to greatness. If we are going to discuss how it can help you and how it can move you forward, I can add another hour of content for us to discuss it in brief. But for the sake of time, let me show you the vast majority of diversified trainers. As you can see on the screen, we have 10 well-thought experts that will help you through all of what we have discussed earlier, and to make sure that you are moving into the right path of success. The Next Generation CFO Leadership Program is actually will start in May 11, 2024. It's a 75-hour session, as we said. For more information, we will drop it into the chat if you want to have more information regarding it. And also, there will be installments available. You can ask us about it as well. And as we have promised, and sorry for keeping you waiting this long time, our winner for the curated program will be one of our one lucky winner of our attendees. So I will leave the floor to Muhammad Al-Rubi. Let me give you the ability to share your screen, and let's see who will be the winner.
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed. Let's see who will be the winner. We're gonna win the full program for free, which is worth 1,645.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen.
Please go ahead.
Are you ready? Let's run the wheel and see who is gonna win. So the winner of the CFO program is Ahmed Ismail. So congratulations, Ahmed. You're gonna attend the full program for free, and congratulations for being part of the HOFT CFO program. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ahmed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, my dear. And I really hope that it will be a pivotal moment in your career. I'm sure that from now on, the experience that you will be able to acquire is unmatched to any other experience that we may discuss or we may talk about. Muhammad, if you can give me back the host so that I can share my screen again.
Yeah, you are the host now. And Ahmed Ismail, please reach out to HOFT Academy team, and they will contact you to take it to the next level.
Again, a quick reminder, you can follow us on social media on Facebook at HOFT Global and Instagram at HOFT_Global, at YouTube at HOFT Global, and for LinkedIn, you can just type Hub Finance Transformation and we'll see us in the first result. For the questions that we have, for the sake of time and not to make it too long for you, we received a question from Muhammad Abdurrahman, who said, thank you for all the wonderful explanation in these important topics for CFO. I would like to ask what is the difference of this program from others? And I would leave the floor for you, Ruby, to answer this question in brief and in quick for the sake of time. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Muhammad, for asking that question. As we explained that the program is very comprehensive. I didn't see any program in the market combining strategy with leadership, with M&A, with advanced corporate finance, with digital transformation, AI, generative AI, ESG, and sustainability, performance management. This is 75 hours, which is very comprehensive program. And also at the same time, this is the only program that provided by 10 global experts, which will give you intensive experience. And at the same time, also from pricing perspective, if you see the other CFOs program in the market, there are more than $20,000 US. And this program is only 1,600, which is almost 10% of the other price. At the same time, from value perspective, I believe the value is much, much higher than all the other programs in the market.
Perfect. Let's not make it any longer for our attendees. We have been long enough. Maybe we have crossed the 1 hour, 30-minute mark. So if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to mail us or send us a message over social media, and we will answer it immediately, inshallah. I want to thank all of you for attending today's webinar, and I'm wishing you, all of you actually, greater success in your milestones and in your career steps. Thanks for all of our speakers today, and thanks for all the attendees for giving us their time and wishing you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.